Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. This is the abridged version. I am Norlene Ebel Ame and my sign language interpreter is Courage Ogiriahi. First, the headlines. President Tinubu receives WTO's DG, gets commendation for ongoing economic reforms. Minister of Education plays host to House of Reps Committee, vows to end certificate forgery. Ukraine's Zelensky meets UK Prime Minister for support ahead of Friday's US-Russia summit. Anticipate viable chance of peace. World Trade Organization WTO's Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has commended Nigeria's government for the outcomes of various economic reforms embarked upon, now leading to stability in the economy. The DG WTO, in company of Nigeria's Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Olajumoke Oduole, visited President Bola Tinubu at the State House. Dr. Okonjo-Iweala, who was a coordinating minister of the economy in Nigeria, also offers advice on the required next steps to grow the economy.
Exchange with him have worked hard to stabilize the economy, and you cannot really improve an economy unless it's stable. So he has to be given the credit for the stability of the economy. So the reforms have been in the right direction. What is needed next is growth. We now need to grow the economy, and we need to put in social safety nets so that people who are feeling the pinch of the reforms can also have some support to be able to weather the hardship. So that's the next step. How do we build social safety net to help Nigerians cushion the hardship they are feeling? And then how do we grow the economy so we can create more jobs and put more money in people's pockets? These are issues that we discussed with Mr. President.
The head of the World Trade Body appreciated the President and First Lady Oluremi Tinubu for the Women Exporters Fund just launched in Abuja to support women through economic hardship.
Nigeria competed and won. One of 4 countries that won globally to be part of this new initiative. We had 67,000 Nigerian women who applied for this, and 146, can you imagine, 67,000, 146 won, and they are going to have money disbursed directly to them. 16 of them won what we call the booster track. Those who already have businesses, but their businesses will be scaled up. They will receive technical and business support for 18 months from the WTO and the ITC, and working with the ministry. So we will all work together to make sure that their businesses expand, they employ more people, they put money in their household's pocket and in the nation's pocket. Then another 100 will get directly $5,000 to scale up, to start and strengthen their businesses, again with 12 months of business support. So 146 women beneficiaries. This is just the beginning.
The fund is jointly managed by the WTO and the International Trade Center. The federal government has announced a new national skills program aimed at connecting 20 million young Nigerians to jobs, training and entrepreneurship opportunities by 2030, with at least 60% of beneficiaries expected to be women. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the assurance as he assumed the chairmanship position of the reactivated Board of Generation Unlimited Nigeria.
This is the inaugural board meeting of Generation Unlimited Nigeria. Vice President Kashim Shettima described Nigeria's youthful population as the nation's superpower and comparative advantage in a rapidly aging world. The Generation Unlimited board meeting coincides with the International Youth Day 2025, themed Youth Innovation for a Sustainable Future.
And this is why Generation Unlimited Nigeria matters. It holds the promise of connecting 20 million young Nigerians to skills, employment and entrepreneurship opportunities by 2030. It is a demand-driven national talent pipeline, linking foundational and work readiness training directly to guaranteed livelihood pathways. It is an inclusive model that aims to serve both vulnerable and the job-ready, with a target that no less than 60% of beneficiaries will be female.
The vision is clear. It's to create a job, build and bridge the skill gaps, and develop the young people to give them empowerment and not just a token, but human capital development.
The Vice President pledged that all training under the initiative will align with the National Skills Qualification Framework to ensure that young people possesses not only the skills to work, but the credentials to compete globally.
Nigeria stands really as an accelerator and a model, not only for the region, but for our continent, our beloved continent, and for the globe. So I think whatever is done here is really very important and gives hope. And the program aims to reach 20 million young Nigerians by 2030.
And to say that the UN Nigeria, through the agencies represented around this table, but also the bigger family of UN, we are all committed to support this, because this is part of the youth's agenda of Nigeria.
Technology, AI is fundamentally reshaping the future of work. And the planet is facing an existential threat from climate change. That is the world young people are entering.
Launched in 2021, Generation Unlimited Nigeria is a public-private youth partnership platform targeting 20 million Nigerian youth by 2030, supporting their transition from learning to earning, productive work and active citizenship. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Nigeria is ready to fully harness the vast potential of its marine and blue economy as a catalyst for sustainable national economic growth. Speaking when he received a visiting World Bank delegation in Abuja, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adeboyega Oyetola, explained that following the recent approval of the National Policy on Marine and Blue Economy by the Federal Executive Council, Nigeria is on the right path to unlocking the immense economic opportunities of its oceans, seas, rivers, and coastal resources. Oyetola, in a statement, said that his ministry is implementing targeted programs to drastically reduce Nigeria's independence on fish importation, which will not only save the nation's foreign exchange, but will create thousands of jobs. Leader of the delegation, Gladys Fajumo, promised the institution's continued support to Nigeria's marine and blue economy ambitions through technical assistance, capacity building, and financing options for strategic projects. The visiting delegation also held focus group discussions with senior officials of the ministry to identify priority areas for collaboration, particularly in policy implementation, infrastructure development, and private sector engagement. California and Nigeria are teaming up in a new climate alliance designed to strengthen key socio-economic sectors in both regions. The partnership, which will focus on mitigation, technology transfer, and industrial trade, was established after the California Africa Climate and Economic delegations visited the National Council on Climate Change, Nigeria's official UNFCCC focal office. Charles Alpha reports.
This visit marks a pivotal moment in deepening ties between California and Nigeria, two dynamic economies poised to shape the future of global innovation and sustainable development. As the world's fourth largest economy and a recognized leader in climate action, California offers a strategic platform for Nigeria to expand its global footprint. California's economic vitality aligns seamlessly with Nigeria's ambitions in high technology, agriculture, entertainment, and inclusive green growth.
Issue that is an existential issue, an existential crisis, which is the climate change battle that we're all tackling. And I will note that your organization, the organization you lead, is well noted around the world for its leadership, and rightfully so. Your ability, your opportunity is now to tackle this issue.
This collaboration is the start of so many good things, and we are looking forward to doing a lot more with the Californians, and we're so proud that we were able to make this happen under such short time frame, but we delivered, and it shows the testament in terms of the energy that we have in here in this space.
With California's $675 billion in two-way trade, Nigeria can gain access to new markets, capital and supply chains, as well as investment in infrastructure, manufacturing and services that could stimulate job creation and an inclusive growth. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
You are still watching the news on NTA International. Let's pause here for a break. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer welcomes Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in a show of support at 10 Downing Street on the eve of a key US-Russia summit from which Kyiv and its European allies have been excluded. The two leaders agreed that the highly anticipated Alaska summit presents a viable chance to peace. Comfort Fashion reports.
President Zelensky says his meeting with Keir Starmer was productive. In a post on X, the Ukrainian leader says the pair spoke of their expectations for Friday's Alaska meeting and the security guarantees Ukraine has been calling for to ensure a durable peace. There is a sense of optimism as Keir Starmer also reiterates that there is a viable chance to make progress as long as Putin takes action to prove he is serious about peace.
For a bit years this conflict has been going on and we haven't got anywhere near the prospect of actually a viable solution, a viable way of bringing it to a ceasefire, and now we do have that chance.
Meanwhile, the Kremlin says Trump and Putin will be discussing resolving the Ukraine crisis in a one-on-one sit-down.
To health now, Africa no doubt has made significant progress from combating infectious diseases to improving maternal and child health. However, these achievements are increasingly threatened by persistent and, in some cases, widening funding gaps. In this report, Uche Ugochukwu highlights the challenges and how African countries can explore potential pathways to sustain and build upon their health successes despite these financial constraints.
Africa, for years, has battled numerous health challenges. Yet, through concerted efforts by governments, international partners and local communities, significant progress have been made. There has been reduction in mortality rates for diseases like malaria, HIV and tuberculosis. Vaccination campaigns have reached more children than ever before, and access to essential healthcare services has expanded in many regions. These advancements, however, are often heavily reliant on external funding. And as global priorities shift and economic pressures mount, many African countries face increasing uncertainty regarding the sustainability of this financial support.
This underinvestment impacts the education of future generations, reduces productivity, and contributes to keeping households trapped in a cycle of poverty and ill health.
The consequences can be reversal of progress, potentially leading to resurgence of diseases and increased health vulnerabilities, particularly among the underserved populations. This not only impacts the health and well-being of individuals, but also hinders overall socio-economic development. The question is, how can African countries overcome these financial challenges and ensure the long-term sustainability of their health achievements? Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
Joining us now via Zoom, of course, he is in the studio, to speak further on how countries in Africa can sustain achievements in the health sector in the midst of gaps in funding is the Executive Director, Global KNCV Tuberculosis Foundation, Netherlands, Dr. Gidado Mustafa. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Mustafa.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Now, since the withdrawal of some foreign aids like the USAID, many African countries struggle to meet their domestic funding commitments for health programs due to over-reliance on external donors. What practical strategies can countries implement to increase their domestic budget allocations?
Thank you for that very important question, and you are completely right that the world was in the right direction in reduction of suffering and death from all related infectious diseases. Unfortunately, in the recent past, we have actually been seeing quite significant challenge with funding gaps. There are possibilities while we are thanking globally all the donors that have invested significantly in the life of all our people, including African region. But this concept of dwindling global resources for health is also a crisis that will come with an opportunity. And I think our African leaders, the public health practitioners at this moment have stopped agonizing, and now they are organizing themselves. What we realize, apart from really finding some strategic options in financing our domestic financing, we need to do certain things smarter. That include really taking integrated approach to health as a very, very critical issue in achieving efficiencies. Secondly, we need to leverage. There are quite a lot of opportunities within our region in Africa that we can finance certain resources to fund our health. Thirdly, is partnership with the private sector. There's a lot of resources that we can put into the health system to realize that actually the health of our populace is actually a business case. So therefore, putting resources into health is not a charity. It is a solidarity, and is actually also a business case. And then, of course, there are significant other options of digitalizing health. I think if we can collectively find a way of digitalizing our health, then again, we can really, really gain quite a lot of efficiencies. Therefore, to clearly state that this dwindling financing, we just need to be strategic. We don't need to lament about it. We need to be innovative. And I think we need to talk to ourselves that the responsibility of health is actually part of governance.
Yes, we need to talk to ourselves, and the responsibility is actually governance. Now, a recent global report states that concerns the funding shortfall could reverse progress and lead to a surge in drug-resistant diseases. What's your take on this? Could it be true?
Well, we are actually seeing a significant reversal of gain. I can typically give you example with the major infectious diseases, like the HIV/AIDS, like tuberculosis and malaria. With tuberculosis, we were actually in a recovery phase after the pandemic of COVID-19. Of course, unfortunately, with the current crisis, we are seeing a little of a downtrend. And how do you relate that to drug resistance in any of the diseases? And actually, how do you relate it to antimicrobial resistance, which is actually a health security around the whole world? We must find a way of ring-fencing medication so that people still have access to high-quality medication. Because with poor resources, there is a chance for compromising access to quality medication. And I can guarantee you, collectively, globally, including the African region, everyone is putting his hand on deck to ensure that we don't compromise the type of medication that are being provided to persons that are unfortunately affected with these infectious diseases.
All right, thank you very much for your contribution on the news on NTA International, Dr. Mustafa Gidado.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Next is, let's continue with the news. Minister of Education Tunji Alausa is assuring the House of Representatives of needed support in tackling the disturbing trend of certificate forgery and racketeering. This was during an oversight to the ministry by the House of Representatives Joint Committee on Certificates Racketeering. National Assembly correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
Briefing the Joint Committee, Tunji Alausa vows to block all loopholes associated with processes of admission with a view to enhancing credibility in the nation's educational system.
I don't know why Nigerians are going to Togo and Cotonou to study. We have excess capacity here. These are students that could not pass WAEC that are going there. But if you're able to pass WAEC and pass JAM, there are lots of capacities within our institutions that are unfilled. It's to clear the name of Nigeria so that members of the International Committee will trust and respect our certificate.
The committee also engaged the National Youth Service Corps, where a principal suspect of certificate racketeering was identified. The committee was also at the National Universities Commission as a critical stakeholder.
We will just ask them, okay, just write my life in the university that you attended overseas. Some, my journey from Sokoto or Enugu to Abuja. We put them in a hall here, and they'll start writing. In fact, some, sir, A, B, C, D to Z, gaps were left for them to fill, they could not.
Someone approached me innocently with that he has finished his PhD in this town. Where did you get it from? He just said University of is it Florida, and they have a seminary in Mararaba or something like that. So I asked him, what is the title of your thesis?
Yes.
Apparently he didn't know what a thesis was.
The oversight visit continues. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
And that concludes the news on NTA International. Thank you so much for watching. I am Norlene Ebel Ame, and my sign language interpreter has been Courage Ogeriahi. Bye for now.